Welcome to the Twist News. I'm Erika Grey.
I'm Don Pravda. Good afternoon from New York, New York.
Today we're going to talk about a few different topics. Don, we're going to be heading to Paris in the first week of May. That's pretty exciting.
I hear Paris is beautiful in the springtime. Is that your information?
Well, actually, we're going to be attending ELNet. ELNet is a nonprofit that acts as a bridge from Israel to the European Union for Israeli-European Union policy. And we are going to be spending 3 days in a room packed full of diplomats. And we're going to be mingling, Don.
Absolutely. Officials from all over Europe.
NATO,
the
Assistant Secretary General of NATO.
High level, and one of my favorites that I've spoken about many times, and I'll be meeting him, and that is General Gideon Sa'ar, a major influencer in the land of Israel.
And not to mention, there's about 3 different ambassadors, a member of the European Union Parliament who heads the delegation to Israel. We have NATO's Assistant Secretary General, a woman from the U.S. State Department, a congressman.
Congressman Gottheimer.
And Gottheimer is in our event, Don, that will be in New York at the Jerusalem Post Conference. So we're going to be reporting from this event. And we're going to be doing on-spot interviews as well as sharing with you what's happening at this major event, which is going to help with future policy between Israel and the European Union and more.
And the future of Israel and interaction with Europe and its leaders will be discussed. In fact, I think will be decided at this convention.
Oh, the
among
topics.
People face to face, in person, not by internet or on the telephone, eye to eye.
And the topics are literally unbelievable, and their future. It's talking about future policy and its power. This is going to be so full of information from the policymakers themselves. And then, Don, we're going to be attending a gala event with all of the individuals at this particular conference and event. So we definitely want you to tune in, because we're going to be giving information as it's happening. And we're going to be getting some really good selfies, Don. I want a selfie with Alan, the 4-star general.
Will you be wearing a gown?
No, but I'll be wearing a dress.
A dress?
A
Okay.
gala dress. Are you going to be wearing a tux?
I would say yes, and I may have to, if I can't carry it to Paris, I may have to rent one.
So this is going to be really exciting, and we're going to network, which means we're going to be having a lot of future interviews that are going to be great. But even more so, at an event like this, we're going to be with the policymakers themselves, and we're going to be in the know, Don. We're going to be in the know.
Absolutely. And I can hear the voice of Charles de Gaulle in my brain. Welcome to Paris.
Yes, and it's interesting. This event runs circles. I mean, there's 3 cabinet members of NATO at this event, or maybe 2. Maybe I goofed. Maybe that's my bad. Maybe it's 2.
How do you spell NATO once again?
And one of my questions is, they're going to be talking about the European Union security. Also, where Israel is going to fit in all of this, and so much more. The INSS, the major Israeli think tank, representatives of the think tank are going to be there, talking about the contradictions in the 2-state solution. I mean, this is just going to be information overload. I think, Don, at the end of this event, like, our heads are going to explode.
Maybe you'll become ambassadors to the United Nations after this is over. Maybe
Anyway,
Kissinger will be seeking us.
You never know. So this is like, we're letting you know this is what we're doing. This is what we have on the agenda. And we want you to stay tuned, because we're going to be uploading from Paris, from that event, March 8th to March 10th, the various speakers who will be at that event that we will be mingling with. I want some selfies, Don, for my Facebook page.
Okay.
And I want more than selfies. We're looking to make contacts.
There should be a few street artists of great ability who should actually be painting us.
With our humble little show.
Absolutely. There's great ability in Paris. And in fact, there'll be impressionists and there'll be some realists, and we'll have a variety of portraits for us.
Yes, a variety of portraits. But this is going to be an unbelievable event, power-packed with information. Everybody who's in the know, people from the French government, U.S. government, Israeli government, UK. Who's not going to be there, Don?
Well, in fact, I think there'll be some folks from the USA. How about that?
Yes, we have a congressman, as well as the retired 4-star General Allen, who had been a big partaker in Afghanistan.
I'm going to remind some folks about America as well. How about our role in World War II? How about America helping France during their time of trouble?
I want to talk of NATO, because all this talk of NATO, but the European Union is forming its own army, and I just read a report from Renew Europe. It's a leading, it's a leading political party in the European Parliament, and on Europe's defense union, and I want to see what the role of NATO is going to be. How relevant will NATO really be when Europe, with its 27 to 28 members, 27 members, forms its own army? Not to mention, Don, it's got the European Political Conference now, 45 members. It's called the European Political Conference. So I want to see how relevant NATO is actually going to be, and what's NATO's role going to be in the future. But also, what's interesting is that NATO is at this event that has to do with Israel. So we're going to see what the relationship is there. And Israel with defense.
Well, we're going to relearn. I know there's a lot of Israelis, they'd rather be studying the Talmud and reading novels and reading the newspapers casually and talking about soccer. However, the reality is their sons and daughters are being sent into the armed forces because it's a matter of life and death. That's the reality of Israel, and we'll be meeting a lot of outstanding Israelis in Paris.
And the topics are just unbelievable. So what's really great about this, Don, is we're going to have some contacts for people to contact when we're working on stories, as well as we're going to have experts to bring on the show. I mean, this is an unbelievable opportunity for us, not just for us, but for our audience.
So please enlist, stand by and watch the twist, and let us know about your opinions. We're very open.
And if there's any questions you would like us to ask at this event, let us know. Any of the diplomats.
Perhaps some of the questions will have to be translated, but we'll get the answers for you.
Yes, we'll get the answers. So definitely let us know. Be sure to tune in. Subscribe if you don't subscribe. And there's one other thing you're supposed to do, Don. What's that? I think check the link. Yeah, check out our link. Yep. Check the link for our store.
And check some of the books that are in our store.
From our guests, definitely. The one more thing you're supposed to do is check our link. Sorry, I forgot. But that's what you're supposed to do. And stay tuned, because we're really excited about this Paris trip. And we will also be going to Brussels and reporting from the Berlaymont, as well as to Strasbourg, to the EU Parliament, reporting from there. We will be in Rome, another European Union capital. We're also going to be visiting the Jewish quarters, the Jewish quarter in Paris and the Jewish quarter in Rome. And we'll be sharing about that as well.
We're not talking about Rome, Georgia, or Paris, Texas. We're talking about the real Paris and Rome.
Yes, the real Paris and Rome.
No insult to Jimmy Carter and southern Georgia, but we're going to the real Rome.
Yes, the real Rome, and we're going to visit the Vatican. That's right, we're going to be in the Vatican.
Wow. You think there's some art there, by any chance?
Trillions.
A little bit?
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Well, actually, in the Vatican is all the gods of actually from the Egyptians to the Greeks and the Romans. They're all there. The gang's all there. The gang of gods from the Pantheon, emptied right into the Vatican. Very symbolic.
And maybe if I'm lucky and nobody's looking, I'll grab a few editions of the Talmud from the Middle Ages, which is in the Vatican.
Yes, there's a special reading room we're going to be checking out, because Don wants to see if there's anything Jewish, any of the Jewish texts that may possibly be. So we'll be investigating that too and reporting back to you. But we'll be reporting from Europe. Expect a very interesting 3 weeks. That will be from May the 2nd until about the 26th. And we're very excited about it, but also very excited to give to you something a little bit different. We're going to be not only giving you news, but we're going to give you behind the scenes at this event. So stay tuned, and any final words, Don?
Well, if you think the bird noise in the background is from a sound machine, you're wrong. This is the real article. It's a beautiful day. It's springtime in New York in Bryant Park. We're right behind maybe the most famous library in the world, New York Public Library, and we're very happy to be with you today. And I hope you had a joyous Passover and Easter.
Till next time, stay tuned.